A scene becoming all too familiar, a massive fire lighting up the night sky over downtown Oakland as another construction site goes up in flames. At the height of the fire, a construction crane could be seen spinning out of control. The four-alarm blaze still has hundreds of residents evacuated from neighboring buildings.
The biggest fear, the huge crane in danger of collapsing. Chopper 5 over what's left of the construction site now. Nothing but the scorched frame of what was to be a 6-story building of apartments and shops.
It happened at the corner of 23rd and Valdez Streets, 2 blocks from Lake Merritt on the Grand Avenue side.
Our coverage begins with KPIX 5 reporter Simon Perez. Simon?
Investigators are still here on the scene trying to figure out what caused this fire. We can tell you that arson experts are part of that team, but one of the problems they have is they can't get inside to the site because of that big crane. Cal OSHA says it's stable, but it needs to come down before anyone can go in. And that's also the reason why the 700 people who live in this apartment building are still evacuated. They can't go back in for another 24 to 48 hours until that crane comes down. Even from a distance, the scene looked apocalyptic. Up close confirmed it. There was no chance this building was going to make it.
When we came out, the fire was like, it was crazy.
Some 80 firefighters showed up to take on the flames the first 5 minutes after the first 911 call came in at 4:30 this morning. It didn't take long for the 6-story mixed-use building to be hollowed out.
The fire had spread to the elevator shaft on the opposite side of the building, and once it hit that, it just took off.
Neighboring buildings smoldered, but the fire department says most of the damage to those buildings was from heat, not flames.
With a fire this side, it is miraculous that we have had no loss of life, no injuries, and nothing more than what appears to be cosmetic damage to any ancillary or surrounding structure.
National Weather Service satellites registered the heat rising from the scene at 900 degrees Kelvin. That's 1,160 degrees Fahrenheit. It was so hot, the crane at the center of the building started spinning. The potential instability of the crane and 4 stories of scaffolding mean people who live nearby have been evacuated, including some 700 people who live in the apartment complex across the street. The Red Cross has set up a shelter at St. Vincent de Paul Community Center.
That shelter will be open for those residents as long as they are displaced from this area.
This is what the building was supposed to look like. 330,000 square feet with up to 196 multifamily units, from studios to 2 bedrooms. This fire immediately brings to mind the 3 other fires that damaged other apartment projects. No cause yet, but arson investigators are on this case.
This is way too early for us to make any conclusions about this fire, but that issue is one that concerns us.
Now, the mayor says that she is concerned and is going to make sure that any future apartment construction projects here in the city have sufficient cameras, have sufficient security crews, and she's also asking Oakland residents, Veronica, to make sure that if there's one going up across the street from them, to be on the lookout to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Well, Simon, on that note, does the developer at this burned-out construction site even plan to rebuild?
Yes, we talked to Councilmember McElhaney, and she said that they are going to rebuild. They need to make sure that the foundation is stable, but the plan right now is to put it back the way it was.
All right, Simon Perez live for us today in Oakland. Simon, we appreciate it. Thank you.
This